My brother used my home address to register his business without asking. When his company got sued, the court sent a summons to my house. Last Tuesday, a man in a suit knocked on my door at 7:15 a.m., asked if I was the registered agent for Caldwell Ventures LLC. I had no idea what that was. He handed me a thick envelope. "You have been served." I stood barefoot holding legal papers for a company I had never heard of, registered at my address. My brother's name on every page. I am Nathan, 34, software engineer in Austin, Texas. I meal prep Sundays. Track every bill, bought my house 3 years ago for $385,000 with my own money. Quiet street, small yard, mine, I don't do chaos. My brother Drew is 37, the golden child, mom's words, dropped out of college, opened a bar that failed, tried real estate that failed. Got scam complaints online. Now calls himself a tech entrepreneur, borrowed $8,000 2 years ago. Never paid back. When I asked, he said, "You are my brother, you are gonna nickel and dime me." 6 months ago Drew asked to receive packages at my place. No lobby at his apartment. I said fine. Packages turned into business envelopes. 3 months ago, a letter from the Texas Comptroller came for Caldwell Ventures LLC, I forwarded it. Drew laughed. "Used your address temporarily, changing it next week." "It is just an address," I believed him. "Mistake." Tuesday I opened the envelope. Civil lawsuit, a Dallas firm suing Caldwell Ventures for $147,000. Drew took their money to build software, delivered garbage, vanished, on every filing. My full name is registered agent. My home is business address. I never signed a thing. I read it 3 times, not because I didn't understand, because I needed to confirm my name was on papers I never touched. He didn't just borrow my address, he used my identity as a shield, called Drew 3 times, no answer. Texted a photo of the front page. "Call me. Now." He called in 90 seconds. "Before you freak out," I stopped him. "You registered a company at my address." My name, without telling me, he said he needed a physical address. I reminded him he said that months ago. "It is just an address. Doesn't mean anything legally." I said it meant enough for a process server at 7 a.m. He called the lawsuit bogus. I told him I am named in the filing silence. He said he'd fix it. "Don't do anything stupid," I said. "Rich coming from you." He hung up. I searched the Texas Secretary of State website. Caldwell Ventures LLC, 8 months old. My name, my address, kept digging. Found a second one. Caldwell Digital Solutions, LLC. Same address. Same name, 2 companies using my identity without consent. My lawyer, Rachel Langwayan, was direct. "Your brother committed identity fraud. You could face liability if you don't act now. Ignore the lawsuit and I risk default judgment." We filed a motion to quash, a police report, and cease and desist. I told Drew. He panicked. "A police report on your own brother?" I said, "You used my name on a company sued for $147,000. What did you expect?" He said. "Family doesn't sue family." I said, "Family doesn't commit fraud against family either." 30 minutes later, Mom called. I explained. She said, "It is just an address." "Sweetheart," I stopped. "You knew." Silence. "He mentioned using your address." I told him you wouldn't mind. She knew, encouraged it. I told her about the lawsuit. She said it didn't affect me. I said it arrived at my door with my name. "If you jail him over paperwork, you will destroy this family." I said, "He destroyed my security the moment he forged my name." She called me heartless. I said, "You raised me to clean up Drew's mess." "That is over." She hung up. My brother forged my name on state documents, used my home as a front for a company sued for 6 figures. My mother knew. I have filed reports and hired a lawyer. Mom says I am tearing this family apart. Drew says family doesn't sue family. A process server knows where I live, because my brother made sure of it. Update 5 days later, 3 days ago, I posted about my brother registering his company at my home address. I thought a police report and a lawyer would end it. Instead I found 4 companies at my address. One has a tax lien. Rachel called Monday. Voice different, controlled. Bigger problem than we thought. 4 LLCs at my address. Caldwell Ventures. Being sued, Caldwell Digital Solutions. The one I found, then 2 I had never seen. Apex Consulting Group. No Caldwell in the name. Drew was hiding it. And Trident Media Holdings, registered 6 weeks ago. Still creating companies while I was filing a police report. Worst part was Apex. $23,000 federal tax lien from the IRS tied to my address. Rachel, if the IRS attaches this to the business address, it complicates your property title. Move fast. That afternoon, Mrs. Patterson, my neighbor, waved me over. 2 men came to my door last week, Asked about Caldwell Ventures. Said they were owed money. One photographed my house. She told them nobody by that name lived here. Nathan, should I be worried? Creditors at my home. My 70-year-old neighbor questioned because of my brother. Drew emailed that night. 3 paragraphs of manipulation. Said I was destroying his dream. Claimed I verbally agreed to let him use my address. A lie, I agreed to receive packages. Threatened to tell the family I betrayed him. Said he had witnesses. Ended with, family doesn't sue family. Dad would be ashamed of you. I forwarded it to Rachel without replying. 2 days later, Vanessa called. Drew's wife, 7 months pregnant, crying. If Drew goes to jail, I will have nothing. I said I didn't put her there. She said Drew told her I agreed to help. I said, he told you that because it is easier than the truth. She asked what truth. Ask about Apex Consulting and Trident Media. Ask how many companies he runs. Ask where the money went. Silence, she hung up. Mom organized a family meeting. Didn't invite me, cousin James told me. I didn't go. Instead, I emailed every family member. Attached the 4 LLC filings, the $147,000 lawsuit, the $23,000 lien, the police report, one line at the end. Drew will tell his version first. These are public records. Not opinions. Responses came fast. Aunt Ruth, I lent Drew $5,000 for startup costs. Is this where it went? Uncle Kevin, I co-signed a credit card 2 years ago, checked. $12,000 balance. Cousin James, he borrowed $3,000 for equipment. Never paid. Thought I was the only one. Drew borrowed from everyone. Nobody knew. Mom called after, you humiliated your brother in front of the family. I said I shared public records. She said handle it privately. I said I tried. She called me dramatic. Drew called it just an address. Now everyone knows, if something happens to Drew, I will never forgive you. I said, if something happens to my house, would you forgive him? She said, that is different. I said, no mom. You just don't care, because it is happening to me. Rachel filed everything. Motion to quash. Fraudulent filing complaint with the Secretary of State. Demand letter. Remove my name. Change address. Cover legal fees. 10 days. She contacted the IRS lien tied to the entity. Not my title, yet Drew didn't comply. He hired a lawyer. His attorney claimed, I verbally consented to serve as registered agent. Drew preparing to fight me in court. Don't know where he found money for an attorney when he owes me $8,000. 11 p.m. unknown number, almost ignored it. My father Gerald, lives in Florida. Divorced mom 8 years ago, barely talks to me, said mom called hysterical, I explained. Long silence. Nathan, this isn't the first time Drew's done this. What do you mean? One reason your mother and I divorced. Drew took out a credit card in my name when he was 22. She knew, convinced me not to press charges, said it would ruin his future. Drew committed identity theft against our father. Mom covered for him, his voice dropped. I should have done something then. Don't make my mistake. Update 2 weeks later last night. Drew's wife Vanessa showed up at my door at 10 p.m. alone, holding a shoebox full of documents. She was shaking. She said, your brother isn't just a fraud. He has been lying to all of us, including me. What she showed me made me call my lawyer at midnight. I opened the door and barely recognized her. 7 months pregnant, eyes swollen, oversized hoodie, holding the box against her belly like it was the only thing keeping her upright. Can I come in? I don't have anywhere else to go. I stepped aside, made tea, Saturday across from her and didn't say a word until she was ready. She told me after our call 2 weeks ago, the one where I said to ask Drew about Apex Consulting. She couldn't let it go. Asked Drew that night, he got angry, told her I was poisoning their marriage. But she waited until he left last Thursday and went through his office. Found a key hidden in a hollowed out book. The locked drawer changed everything. 7 LLCs. Not 4. 7, registered over 4 years across 3 states. Texas, Georgia, Nevada. Some used my address. Some used strangers' addresses. One used a friend in Houston who Drew hadn't spoken to in years. She also found documents with her own signature on them. Except she never signed anything. Drew forged her name as officer on 2 LLCs she didn't know existed. Then the bank statements. A separate account at a bank she had never heard of. Deposits over $210,000 from various company accounts over 2 years. Client payments for projects Drew never finished. Meanwhile, Vanessa had been clipping coupons to stretch groceries. She looked at me, I have been cutting coupons while he hides $200,000. I am about to have his baby, and I don't even know who he is. I didn't feel vindicated. Looking at her, 7 months pregnant, holding proof her husband was a stranger. There was nothing satisfying about it, but I couldn't protect her from the truth any more than I could protect myself. I called Rachel at midnight, told her what Vanessa brought. By 1 a.m. she had reviewed enough to call back. Nathan, this changes everything. Your brother isn't running a bad business, he is running a serial fraud scheme. Open an LLC, collect client money, deliver nothing, shut it down, open another. Before my address, Drew used his friend's place in Houston for the same thing. That friend got sued, spent 2 years clearing his name, total fraud across all 7 entities. Above $400,000. Rachel said this was not a family dispute. Federal wire fraud territory. If the FBI got involved, anyone on those filings could be questioned. We submitted everything to the FBI tip line that night. Next morning Drew called. Vanessa had gone home to grab clothes and he noticed the missing documents. No, hello? You turned my wife against me, I said. She came to me, I didn't go to her. He said she stole his documents. I said he forged her name on filings without her knowledge. I am her husband. I said, and I am your brother. Didn't stop you from using my name either. His voice dropped cold. If you don't back off, I will make your life hell, I will put liens on your house. Destroy your credit. You think $147,000 is bad. Wait until I am done. I kept level. Are you threatening me? He said, I am telling you how this ends. I said. Then I am glad I am recording this. Texas is a one-party consent state. 4 seconds of silence. He hung up. Recording saved. Sent to Rachel within the hour. 2 days later, Mom showed up unannounced. Brought Pastor Thompson from the family church. Nathan, Pastor Thompson is here because God wants this family healed. I invited them in, looked at the pastor, with respect. God didn't forge my signature on state documents. He tried to mediate, I said. Forgiveness doesn't require me to accept continued fraud. I can forgive Drew and protect myself. Those aren't mutually exclusive. Mom snapped. You are putting your pregnant sister-in-law on the street. How do you sleep? I said. Vanessa is sleeping on my couch because she doesn't feel safe with Drew. Did he tell you that? Mom went quiet. She came with proof Drew has hidden over $200,000 from her. 7 months pregnant. Secret bank account. But sure, I am the problem. Pastor Thompson turned to Mom. Linda, there is more to this than you told me. Mom stood. No apology. This family is falling apart because of you. Walked out. That evening my father called from a Texas area code. Flown in from Florida. I am at the county clerk's office. Filing my own fraud report against Drew. The credit card from 2014, should have done this then. He didn't come because I asked him. He came because he stopped letting Mom decide what was forgivable. She protected him for 15 years. I let her. That ends now. Vanessa is on my couch. My father filed his own fraud report. Mom still thinks I am the villain. Rachel says court in 10 days. Drew's lawyer withdrew yesterday. Apparently Drew didn't pay him either. I will update after the hearing. Final update 4 weeks later. The court hearing was last Thursday. Drew didn't show up, but what the judge found in the filing records was worse than anything I imagined. And by Friday, 2 federal agents were at Drew's apartment. I arrived at the courthouse at 8:45. With Rachel, the plaintiff's attorney from the Dallas firm, sat across from us. His client, Richard Tan, was there too. He looked exhausted. The kind of tired that comes from spending $147,000 on a product that never existed. Drew's chair was empty. No lawyer, no representative, no letter. The judge waited 5 minutes past schedule, then asked if the respondent was expected. Rachel said no. Drew had been personally served. He chose not to appear. Rachel presented our case. The 4 LLC filings at my address. The police report, an affidavit from a handwriting expert, confirming the signatures were not mine. The expert noted something else. The same forged template appeared on all 4 filings. Identical strokes, identical pressure. Drew hadn't forged my name once in a rush. He created a system for it. The judge reviewed everything carefully, then said something I didn't expect. I am noting 2 of these entities show a secondary officer named Vanessa Caldwell. Is there a fraud complaint for that individual as well? Rachel confirmed. The judge paused. Motion granted. The respondent's name is removed from all filings. I am referring this matter to the district attorney for criminal review. When the judge said those words, I didn't feel relief. I felt tired. 7 weeks of legal fees, sleepless nights, and family warfare, because my brother thought my home was his to use. Not victory, confirmation that I should have said no the first time he asked to receive a package. Richard Tan shook my hand outside the courtroom. I am sorry you got pulled into this. I told him I was sorry he lost $147,000. He said, your brother is very good at making people trust him. That hit harder than he intended. By Friday, the FBI moved. Rachel's tip plus the DA referral triggered a formal investigation into all 7 LLCs. 2 agents showed up at Drew's apartment. He didn't open the door. They left a card. That evening Drew called. Voice flat. No anger, no threats. You called the FBI on me, I said. Number your $400,000 fraud scheme called the FBI on you. I just made sure my name wasn't on it when they arrived. He said, I have a baby coming in 8 weeks. I said, you should have thought about that before you forged your wife's name too. Long pause. What happens to me now? I said, that is between you and the federal government. He said, you are my brother. I paused a long time. Yeah, I was. He didn't call again. 2 weeks later, FBI agents executed a search warrant. Seized his laptop, phones, hard drives, boxes of records. Drew was arrested. Wire fraud, identity theft, tax evasion. Bail set at $50,000. Mom mortgaged her house to pay it. Drew released with an ankle monitor. Cannot leave Travis County. Vanessa filed for divorce 3 days after the arrest. Rachel connected her with a family attorney. I helped her find a small apartment and covered her first deposit. Not guilt. My niece deserved a roof that wasn't built on fraud. The day Vanessa left my place, she stopped at the door. He told me you were the selfish one in the family. Turns out you were the only honest one. I helped her carry the last box to her car. Mom didn't speak to me for 3 weeks, then one text. I hope you are happy. I didn't reply. Cousin James told me she had been telling church people I fabricated evidence to frame Drew. Pastor Thompson corrected her during a Sunday service. In front of everyone, she hasn't been back since. My father stayed in Texas 2 weeks. First time in 8 years, we sat at a dinner table together. He ordered steak. I ordered the same. Didn't talk about Drew for 20 minutes. Just ate, then he put his fork down. I wasn't a good father. I left because I was tired of fighting your mother. But I shouldn't have left you behind. I said, you are here now. He asked, is that enough? I said. It is a start. We finished in silence. Most honest meal I have ever had. Legal fees, $14,000. Rachel gave a reduced rate. I filed a reimbursement claim against Drew. Unlikely to collect, but it is on record. Credit clean, title clear, name removed from every LLC. I installed a Ring doorbell and security system. Not because I am afraid. Because I learned what happens when you leave your door open to the wrong people. 2 months later, Vanessa sent me a photo. A baby girl, born 6:47 a.m., 7 pounds, 3 ounces, named her Lily. The text said, she has your family's eyes. But I hope she has your integrity. Drew is awaiting federal trial. If convicted, 5 to 15 years, haven't spoken to him since that last call. Last week, Mrs. Patterson asked about the companies. I told her they were gone. She said, must be nice to have that resolved. Resolved, interesting word. The legal part is resolved. My name is clean. My house is mine. But trust doesn't get resolved with a court order. My brother looked at my home and saw an opportunity. My mother looked at me and saw a resource. For 34 years I was the reliable one. The one who kept things running while everyone else made messes. They called that love. I called it a pattern. Drew told me family doesn't sue family. He is right about one thing, it shouldn't come to that. But family doesn't forge your name, endanger your home, and expect you to absorb the fallout. If protecting yourself from the people who should protect you makes you the villain, then I will take that title. My house is quiet now. No process servers, no screaming phone calls, no surprise visits from people who want to guilt me into self-destruction. Just quiet. And for the first time since that Tuesday morning at 7:15 a.m., I can drink my coffee in peace. My brother said it is just an address. He was right. It is just an address, my address, and I intend to keep it that way.